am the Irish guy, and yes, it is that time of year again. No, not when the bumblebees start trying to eat my face. No. It is the championship predictions. 23-24, I am about to produce a predictions masterclass. So grab a popcorn, sit back, and listen to some absolute wizardry. Right, let's go. 24th Ipswich Town. Does anybody really think that a team sponsored by Ed Sheeran are going to survive the championship? Nah, just stick to writing songs for Beauty and the Beast, mate. And I don't know, eating cupcakes and hating the sun, because this season is going to be an absolute mess for your football club. Lads, I am happy that Ipswich are back. In January 2020, Ipswich were in League One, had just failed to win 8 games in a row, and the manager Paul Lambert was actually allowed to extend his contract until 2025. To Ipswich fans, that probably felt like a prison sentence. Living in a prison where you had to eat nothing but dead rats for breakfast. But to be fair, he has since gone, and you're now in the capable hands of Kieran McKenna. That guy who used to microwave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his lunch. Is everybody called McKenna just destined to be forever known as the number 2? Sorry, Lawrence, that was mean. To be fair, Kieran did also work with Jose Mourinho, so I'm not just sitting here trying to compare his footballing IQ to that of SpongeBob SquarePants, but I do think this Ipswich project absolutely gets flattened this season. I know that since February, they've been flawless. I mean, they only dropped 4 points from their final 15 games. There were 3 4-0 wins and 2 6-0 wins. There were 9 clean sheets in a row. That is absolutely beastly. And Ipswich fans are probably starting to look at McKenna as if he's Thor himself. But I'm sorry, I just sniff an implosion. And not in the Titanic way. No, but when Ipswich are rock bottom by Christmas, does an experienced 37-year-old from Fermanagh really know what to do? Really? Are you actually confident being saved by an ex-Tottenham under-18s coach when he's up against long-in-the-tooth gaffers like Neil Warnock? No, this would be like replacing Bruce Willis with Michael Cera in Die Hard. Sorry, Ipswich, but you're going down. 23rd, Birmingham City. Birmingham City fans are about to be sucked into a hole of despair. I mean, to be fair, they're already in one. They're from Birmingham. Doesn't everybody who resides there just constantly stink of a mixture of fish and the armpits of an old man? Listen, I reckon the coach, John Eustace, is about to embark on a woeful campaign. I mean, I'm not convinced. They ended last season like a sloppy bunch of squirrels, losing 4 of the last 5 games. Yes, they bought a bunch of players this summer, like Sariki Dembele from Bournemouth, Lee Buchanan from Werder Bremen, Christian Bilic from Derby County, Ethan Laird from Manchester United, Tyler Roberts from Leeds. On paper, these are quality buys, but I am sorry, they won't click at all, and it'll soon be, Eustace, we have a problem. Sorry, I watched The Martian last night. Pretty boring. But yeah, John Eustace will soon be shown to have the managerial genius of a squashed pizza. Second bottom, sorry. 22nd, Norwich City. I know. Norwich fans will be absolutely furious. Norwich City, the team who almost every season are tipped as title favourites. I think they will wind up again in League One. I mean, surely you think this is some mistake. Surely I'm a bigger clown than the Grinch, because this prediction is absolutely laughable. No. I'm sorry, but this is genius, because championship promotion hopefuls have actually slipped into League One by accident before. It's rare, but it happens. Like Sunderland in 2018, Wolves in 2013, Portsmouth in 2012, Sheffield United in 2011, Leeds United in 2007, even Man City in 1998. All were expected to go up, but they instead went down. Norwich are not too big to go down. By now, they're coached by a creepy Klopp clone. Someone who, honestly, I know he was best man at Jurgen's wedding, but he just looks like a robot. They both even switched the contact lenses at the same time. I'm convinced David Wagner waits outside his buddy's bedroom window, hoping to get a glimpse of his Wong. But for those who think I am crazy, look how Norwich finished off last season. Favourites for the championship title last season, don't forget, and yet polished off the campaign with just 1 win for the last 11 games. Wagner had the impact of toilet paper that's just been dipped in mud. And now they've replaced their goal machine Crutch and Timu Pukki with some sweaty 5-goal-a-season Ashley Barnes. And they're finally about to sell Max Aarons to Southampton, meaning that all the quality we thought we knew about Norwich in the Prem will all finally be gone. Aarons, Lewis, Buendia, Cantwell, Pukki, leaving them now with a rubbish bin bag filled with donkey puke. Honestly, put it in your calendar. 4th of May, 2024, both Birmingham and Norwich will be relegated on that same pitch. There'll be more tears than at a child's funeral, And I should know, I beat the 5. Josh Sargent will look so devastated, as if someone just showed him a mirror. Sorry, Canaries, but you're about to be clipped. 21st, Cardiff City. I do not care that Cardiff City have just signed a marquee superstar in Aaron Ramsey. It's still going to be another sludge fest of a season. They now have Errol Bulut at the wheel, some 40-year-old bloke who's managed in Turkey his entire life, coaching Yeni Malatyaspor, Antalyaspor, Fenerbahce, and Gaziantep. So suddenly being dragged out of his comfort zone and given a job in Wales, oh, he will look so out of place. Never mind kissing them on the mouth. He won't even know what a sheep is. He will look so out of place, as if you were to put Thogdad on the set of Love Actually. Sorry, Cardiff, but it'll be a mega slog. Bula will be sacked with Cardiff sitting bottom of the league in January, before someone like Mick McCarthy takes the wheel and pulls off the great escape. 20th, Stoke City. Why did Alex Neil quit Sunderland last year? I know he thought he was doing the sensible thing, walking out on them for Stoke last August, and I know he returned to Sunderland to leave with a sweet 5-1 win, while 30,000 angry Mackhams probably called him an ugly Humpty Dumpty and tried to throw their donuts at his head. But it was still a horrible season for Stoke, finishing 16th in the league and 2 points from the final 7 games. Imagine if Sunderland had been promoted to the Premier League. Neil would have probably spent this summer so depressed, his wife would probably have to talk about drowning himself in a Greek swimming pool. But yeah, I can see another miserable season with newbie Wesley Moraes, an ex-Brazil international centre forward, don't forget. He's going to absolutely stink up the place, scoring 2 goals all season long. Honestly, if Wesley scores more than 3 championship goals, I will pour 7 litres of expired milk all over my face. 19th, Rotherham. Somehow Rotherham survived last season. Many people are predicting them to go down again this year, right? No. I'm sorry, but put some respect on Matt Taylor's name. Yes, there's another Matt Taylor. No, he's not the former winger who kept scoring worldies at Portsmouth in the Premier League, and it's not the Matt Taylor who left Bristol Rovers for Bristol City and are probably at angry Bristolians throwing dead kittens at his car. No, it's another one. Can we please stop having so many Matt Taylors in this sport? But yeah, I know they've since lost Irish superstar Chiedozie Ogbene to Luton, but I'm still gonna bank on them to be fine. It's okay. You can trust me. Creepy, isn't it? 18th, Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle were a joke last season in League One. How does a team begin the season by losing away at Fleetwood and then shipping 5 at Charlton? How do they then get their act together to go on and win the league? Lads, even in November, they were traveling to Grimsby and losing 5-1. Who's in goal? Pieface? What a terrible start. But yes, the miracle of Steven Schumacher dragged Plymouth to 101 points. They were excellent all season, but the championship? Plymouth Argyle have not been in the championship since 2010. 18th would be their highest finish in the Football League since they were 10th in 2008, back when their talisman was Sylvana Banks-Blake. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he now has to sell ice cream from a truck. Call me crazy, but I think Plymouth are going to have a monster year. 17th, Preston North End. Preston North End fans, well done. You passed the test, child. Because if you're watching this video, then clearly you weren't bored to dust last season. Nah, no football fans on earth had their patience tested quite as much as Preston's a year ago. From the 30th of July to the 13th of September, Preston fans sat through 720 minutes of football and witnessed 3 goals of any description. That is on average 1 goal every 4 hours. I would rather sit on a 32-hour flight watching all 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory whilst casually looking at TikToks of Judi Dench scrubbing her armpits with a leaf then go through all of that. Preston fans sat through 9 goalless draws last year. So if those fans haven't since peeled all the skin off their face due to sheer boredom, then fair play. But they can't do that again. There's a lack of goals in the team. Right, well, if you're aiming to get into the Premier League, then you can't solely be relying on a bloke who lost nearly 3 years of his career to prison. Nah, 17th, 16th, Bristol City. Nothing exciting is happening at Bristol City under Nigel Pearson. Boring, dull as mustard. Just a lowly 16th. Next, 15th, Sunderland. I know Sunderland somehow squeezed their way into the playoffs last season, but I mean, do Sunderland fans just think it's done now? That they've now successfully rehabilitated themselves as a Premier League chasing club? No, I think they're in for a pretty horrible season, but it's all their own fault because I remember reading reports coming out of the club after their playoff defeat that Tony Mowbray was about to be sacked, which would have been the height of lunacy. I know their owner is a borderline child billionaire, just the French Richie Rich. Someone so young, you probably can't even remember who was Darren Bent, but I think an ungrateful Mowbray sack is coming. We have seen that the owner likes bling, big attention-grabbing names. I mean, why do you think they signed Bellingham the same day as Real Madrid? It's almost a bit desperate to be in the news. Bradley Dack is an interesting signing from Blackburn, although he hasn't been that 18-goal-a-season midfield monster for a solid 4 years, and is now mostly old news, probably just thinks of gin. I think Mowbray will be sacked by Christmas and replaced with a stupid big name, like a Phil Neville, who, by the way, is currently the assistant of Canada. He used to be David Moyes' number 2. Now he's literally taking orders from a middle-aged bloke from Durham, who used to be a lecturer at Northumbria University. I reckon Neville is soon going to get sick of fetching coffee for the former manager of the New Zealand women team, and having worn out his fingers by sending about 5,000 bitter, angry text messages to David Beckham, still angry at his old mate for costing him a chance to coach Messi, then yeah, he will be taking the Sunderland job. Mark my words, something stupid like that is going to happen. 14th Blackburn Rovers. Remember when Blackburn sold Adam Armstrong to Southampton and everybody feared the worst? Only for Ben Brereton Diaz to emerge from the shadows and replace the goals and fire Blackburn to finish 8th and 7th. These fans are slowly getting closer and closer to the Premier League, although the fact that John Del Thompson failed to even consolidate a playoff spot was a complete and utter bottle job. An absolute display of mental weakness. They spent 29 weeks either in the automatic spots or the playoff spots and then chose to go on an 8-game winless run across April and May, chucking their golden ticket into a fireplace, and I reckon we're about to see a hangover from that. I remember seeing the same thing happen to Leeds under Gary Monk. From game week 18 to game week 42, they did not budge from the playoffs. Then the pressure chewed them apart, and they somehow wound up finishing 7th. Monk soon resigned, their top scorer Chris Wood was sold to Burnley, and they had a miserable season of 13th. Similar thing here, Diaz has gone to Villarreal, Thomas is now skating on the thinnest of ice with the fans, will probably be sacked and replaced with old boy Lee Carsley in March. Yeah, not a good season. 13th, Hull City. Hull City are weird, and no, I'm not just talking about their fans. They probably enjoy drinking vegan coconut lattes whilst researching 18th century poetry by candlelight. Well lads, last season wasn't a bad campaign from the Tigers, even if they did finish up with just 3 wins from their final 16 games. They're in pretty safe hands in Liam Ross Sr., who just seems like a sensible, ear to the ground guy. I'm expecting a huge season from Chelsea loanee Xavi Simmons in midfield. So yeah, 13th, why not? 12th, Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield Town. What a weird season they had last year. How could they start the pre-season with a saucy, tactical innovator like Carlos Corberán at the wheel, a former Marcelo Bielsa protege, and then wind up finishing the season with Neil Warnock, some grumpy old bloke who's already retired 11 times in his life? Now, this is a man who's ready to step away from the game in 2007. He must really despise spending time with his wife. If he retires at the end of the season after guiding Huddersfield to 12th, then I still won't believe him. Even when he's buried in a graveyard with a weeping widow laying a flower on his plot, I'll still expect to see him linked with an interim gig at York. Just zombie Warnock in the dugout munching on a pie. 11th, Watford. Watford are a mess. For those who haven't kept track of them since relegation, yes, they are still a basket case who go through managers like Kleenex tissues. I bet there'll be some of you who didn't even realize they had Chris Wilder at the wheel last year, because Watford are so utterly careless with their coaches. They go through it so quickly that the Pozzos have actually sacked 4 managers at Watford who are in the Premier League this season. Sean Dyche, Marco Silva, Roy Hodgson and Rob Edwards. It's so unbelievably nutty. Now they have Valerian Ismail at the wheel. Yeah, it did work a miracle in his 1 season at Barnsley, but since then failed at West Brom and Besiktas, and there is not a more obvious example of a walking sack this season than him, because this man was just as flighty as Watford. He has had 10 management jobs in his career, never stayed at any of them for longer than 2 years, and even that was just his first coaching job at Hanover B. Over the last decade, he has never held on to a job for more than 18 months. These were his start and end dates. July 2013 to June 2014, then June 2014 to November 2014, then June 2015 to October 2016, then October 2016 to February 2017, then May 2018 to August 2018, where he was in charge of just 1 game for Apollon Smyrnis, then May 2019 to July 2020, then October 2020 to June 2021, and then June 2021 to February 2022, and then March 2022 to October 2022. He is living his whole life out of a suitcase. His wife has probably stopped bothering to have the neighbors over for lunch. There's probably a poor, confused postman in Barnsley still delivering his birthday cards to something that's now just a derelict haunted house. Neither Watford or Ismail do commitment. They both know exactly what this is. This is practically the plot from No Strings Attached. I mean, I'm guessing I haven't seen it. Ashton Kutcher comedies caused me to break out in hives, but this is a nothing season. Watford have sold both João Pedro and Ismail Assar to Brighton and Marseille and replaced them with Tom Ince. Is he really still a thing? I'm gonna go this far. I am so certain of his failure. I'm gonna say this. Ismail will be sacked in September. And if he's not, then for every month that Ismail survives the Vicarage Road after September, for every month, I will do an entire video covered head to toe in milk. 10th, Leeds United. Leeds United fans are going to absolutely hate this one. But I'm sorry, you're going to fail. Patrick Vieira would have been a good management appointment, but Daniel Farke, it's so lazy. Yes, he has won the championship twice, but he's never done anything notable outside of Norwich and was just binned off by Borussia Mönchengladbach after only 1 season. And lads, the squad doesn't really have the quality. Going forward, yeah, they got some talent, but they're all similar sort of wingers. There's no guaranteed goal machine up front. Patrick Bamford, do not make me laugh. I just think it'll be a horrible season. Farke will fall flat on his face. He'll be sacked in February with Leeds sitting 17th in the league before being replaced by Scott Parker, who, yes, will have a managerial bounce, but 10th? 9th, Coventry. Coventry are great. Mark Robbins, take a bow. The job he has done at this club, it's almost akin to Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. They even both have the uncomfortable, unpleasant reality that nobody likes to talk about. You know how they both ditched Bournemouth and Coventry when they were in the lower leagues? Yeah, it sort of spoils the whole romantic story when you realize that yes, they were both tempted away, and not even by monster European glamour clubs either. Had their heads turned by Huddersfield and Burnley, which is a bit like walking out on your wife for, I don't know, some 7-foot slug. Yes, an actual slug. You know, the insects that eat worms? But yeah, another great season for Coventry. 9th, 8th QPR. Every season there is always a shock team who does well, despite showing absolutely no hint of it the previous year. And for QPR, ever since Michael Beale turned down Wolves, showing commitment, yes, but then went back on that when he went and joined Rangers, QPR have fallen away like a stone and were nearly relegated under Gareth Ainsworth. And they only stayed up thanks to back-to-back miracle wins against Burnley and Stoke. And now, I have no real logic or reason for this, but I mean, there was also no logic for Barnsley to get into the playoffs in 2021. I think they will have a great year. And watch out for Sinclair Armstrong, a Dublin-born under-21 Ireland international whose middle name is Nchamukuwu. Did I butcher that? Probably. But I'm telling you now, this former Shamrock Rovers kid is going to explode, score 20 goals, and actually rival for the Championship Golden Boot. Honestly, if he is not in the top 7 goal scorers in the league by May, I will eat a sausage roll out of a toilet. 7th, Leicester City. Everybody probably thinks it's a given that Leicester City will win the league, right? But why? Look at this for a nightmare summer. So far, they lost James Maddison, Johnny Evans, Nampalys Mendy, Calgar Soyuncu, Harvey Barnes, Yuri Tielemans, Ioti Perez, Ryan Bertrand, Daniel Amarty. That is a lot of experience and talent. They've signed Connor Cody, Harry Winks, Steffi Mavididi, and Callum Doyle. Don't get me wrong, some are good signings, yes. Connor Cody was the reason that Fakeo Tomori didn't go to the World Cup with England, while Mavididi is a talented English-born winger/striker from Montpellier, who's also been on the books of Arsenal and Juventus. But that's all he is. Raw talent on TikTok. He scored 4 goals in League One last season and 2 assists. And yet everyone is raving about him. Why? Because he was at Juve when Ronaldo was there? Yeah, so was Eni Aluko. And everyone in football shows her the same respect that you'd have for a cartoon elephant. Poor old Paddy Kenny is probably prank calling her 4 times a night. Enzo Maresca could be anything as manager. He's been an assistant for Ascoli, Sevilla, West Ham, Man City. I mean, in his only actual stint as an actual manager, he failed, lasting 14 games in Serie B with Parma, despite having a world champion in net. I know they say that any coach who ever fetched Pep his coffee immediately gets infected by the genius bug. Well, I just don't see enough in this Leicester squad. I reckon they'll get off to a horrible first third of the season, where the entire club will just feel sorry for themselves. They'll recover in the spring of 2024, but it won't be enough. And going on a run to finish as high as 7th will just salvage a morsel of pride and give them hope for the following year. But this season, Leicester, no chance. If Leicester actually get promoted, I will have a shower on camera where I wash myself with toast. 6th, Sheffield Wednesday. A newly promoted team finishing 6th? When does that ever happen? 3 months ago? Right now, football has turned its back on Sheffield Wednesday for daring to sack the people's champion Darren Moore. And yes, it was harsh, but we've seen before, when the world is against a club for a ruthless dismissal, the team can actually rally together. Like when Newcastle sacked Chris Hughton pretty soon after promotion in 2010. An awful decision, right? Well, within 2 years, Alan Pardew had the team playing in the Europa League. I think Xisco Munoz, another harshly sacked Watford coach, I reckon he's going to have an incredible year. I mean, it's not a particularly inspiring CV. It's just a young Spanish manager who's coached in Georgia and Cyprus. Well, he actually did well at Watford. He got them promoted in 2021, and they were actually 15th after 7 games in the Premier League when he was binned, playing a zesty, fluid brand of Catalan football. This would be like the Carlos Carvajal days. Josh Windass will have an incredible season. Honestly, playoffs. 5th, Millwall. They have to. Surely Millwall. I think Gary Rowett will finally get them over the line and into the playoffs this time round. And quite comfortably too, but Millwall scared me. Seeing them in the Premier League, it'd be like inviting Mike Tyson around for tea. You just know he's not going to wait for dessert. Instead, just chewing your goldfish in between bathroom breaks. 4th, Middlesbrough. I know a lot of people will predict Michael Carrick to win the league with Middlesbrough this season. But no, relax, calm down. It'll be another pretty much identical season to last. 75 points. 4th, remarkably consistent. Yes, I reckon they'll get to Wembley for the playoff final, but they'll lose it to, this team. 3rd, Swansea. Forget losing manager Russell Martin this summer. Swansea City have just been forced to cut ties with Jeffrey Boney. Isn't that just sad? Wasn't everybody just hoping that Woodford's 18-year-old son would follow in his footsteps purely for the song alone?
Come on, Jeffrey Boney. Score some goals for Swansea.
But listen, Michael Duff has been like a disrespectful little flea sniffing around vacant jobs for a while now. Most notably, unhelpfully, championing himself for the Burnley gig when Sean Dyche got the boot. But after quitting Cheltenham for Barnsley, he's now at Swansea after a year. And people are expecting them to implode. But no, if there's any championship club who do get managerial replacements right, it's Swansea. Over the last 5 years, since Carvajal was dumped, they always tend to get it right. I think the Swansea fans like Graham Potter, Steve Cooper, and then Russell Martin and Duff. I think he gets Swansea back into the Premier League. And watch out for 18-year-old midfielder Glory Nzingo, who they just signed from Stade de Reims. And guess what? Oh, you guessed it. Yes, he's an Irish baller, but mark my words, Duff is going to produce a better team than Potter, Cooper, or Martin ever could. Third in the league, beating Borough in the final. Second, West Brom. Nobody thinks West Brom will do anything, but you're all wrong. Give Corberán his first full season in charge, and with a proper preseason, instead of just being dragged in last Halloween to clean up Steve Bruce's mess, and I'd say he probably spent 3 hours on the first day alone just scrubbing the pie stains out of the microwave. I know it tailed off a little bit, but look at the instant impact of Corberán. 9 wins in his first 10 games. It's a bit like Eddie Howe's impact when he replaced Bruce. Honestly, I think we've now discovered a cheat code in football. Just hire Bruce, get him to depress the life out of your players for months, and then just sack him for someone else. You're almost guaranteed to go on a winning streak. But lads, do not sleep on West Brom. Corberán managed to get 82 points and third with Huddersfield. Huddersfield only losing the playoff final by 1 goal. They had finished 20th the season before. If you don't have the baggies in your top 3 at least, then you're very, very silly. Corberán is absolutely building something here. I reckon 90 points. First, Southampton. Southampton are going to eat this league for breakfast. Of all the relegated teams, they are the ones with the best mindset. It is a fresh, exciting squad brimming with Manchester City DNA. Leicester City have tried to do that by hiring Maresca, but no. Southampton are the actual example, with youngsters like Shea Charles, Gavin Bazunu, Samuel Edozie in the squad. All 3 are going to have monster seasons. Romeo Lavia would have been another one, but he's off to Liverpool. And James Ward-Prowse will probably be sold, yes, but it doesn't matter. There's enough pure talent in here, and lads, I always knew Adam Armstrong would be a Southampton flop, right? But the championship is his comfort zone. He'll score about 20 goals. It reminds me when arch rivals Portsmouth bought David Nugent from Preston. An absolutely hideous flop in the Prem, but once they were relegated, he was actually useful and scored 13 goals in the 10-11 season. Similar story with Armstrong. Sorry lads, but Southampton will blow this league out of the water. They'll win this league with 96 points. Done and dusted. Oh, you'll see. Anyway, that's the end of it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Put your championship predictions below. Let me know. But if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, check out as always. I'll talk to you in a while.